everything's set up and the audio's right. Looks like everything's good. Alright. Where's my sound? Okay, there it is. Alright, so I don't know if anybody's watching, but this video is for folks that are depressed or folks that have somebody that they know and care about that's depressed. So first off, I have depression. It's not diagnosed, but I know I have it. And there's a lot of stigma about depression. And I know that this sounds like the beginning of every single depression video. But I'm having an episode of depression right now. See, my depression's not chronic. My depression can be managed. My depression is unique to me. And I think that that's something that's very difficult for a lot of people to get their heads around, is that when you have some sort of bipolar issue or some sort of schizophrenia or something like that, generally there are things and behaviors that can be expected of those illnesses and are unique to that. But because depression can come in so many different forms and affect so many people in so many different ways, and the way that it plays off of other illnesses and other weaknesses in the mind particularly well. Sorry. Wait, I'm gonna pat you right there and it's bothering me. My depression makes me feel like I'm sad, and I don't know why. And it just kind of puts a damper on everything. And it's completely manageable and fine. And I can, especially when I know I'm having an episode, I can manage it. I can be like, what I'm feeling right now isn't real. This is a chemical imbalance in my brain. I've got it. I understand, and I can do something to cope with it. Usually my go-to is music, or I'll go and I'll watch my favorite streamer. Um, or I'll go talk to a friend. I have one special friend in my life who gets me completely and understands me 100% in the way I see things. And they don't judge me. Or they try not to, at least. And that's, if you're that friend for that person, by the way, you don't get to choose. It's weird, but the person who's depressed has to choose you. And that's because the person who's depressed is seeing the world through such a skewed lens, through such a focused, not a focused, a foggy lens. It's like you're in a fog, right? And you know how your mind works and what should be going on for your mindset. But it's hard because everything doesn't make sense. Nothing's like it's supposed to be. But you know you're upset, and you know you're down, and sometimes you don't know why. Or sometimes you do know why. Sometimes, like, I've had a really fucking shitty week. I've had a really shitty week. And I feel worse than I'm supposed to. Alright? My car broke down. I'm fighting with some people that I love. And I'm getting fucked up at work, left, right, and center. And it sucks. Give me 1 second.
What's over?
I'm streaming.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask you, do you want to get on your TikTok later?
Yes.
I found a couple of the other ones, this video, TikToks too, that you might be interested in.
Okay.
So, just want
Thank you.
wanted to tell you that.
I appreciate that.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys just heard that, but that was my mom coming down saying, hey, she's gonna help me find some jobs. One thing you've got to know is that the depressed person appreciates it. But a lot of time, they're not gonna say that they appreciate it because I didn't for the longest time. When somebody does something nice for you and you're depressed, at least how I feel, it's hard for me to be thankful or to be appreciative or recognize the effort of others to help me, because I feel like I shouldn't be in this position to begin with. I feel like I'm sadder than I'm supposed to be, and that's not fair. It's not fair to be sad all the time. It's not fair to be the outcast all the time. And that's the frustration that a lot of people with depression have to deal with at the very base level, is that their existence they feel is unfair. That their experience is being watered down. And it sucks. You know? I know I'm supposed to be upset about my job thing. I know I'm supposed to be upset about the car thing. I'm supposed to be upset about the fighting thing. But most people will be upset for 15, 20 minutes, maybe a couple days, whatever. And they would have periods where they're upset and they'll just, they'll be pissed, but they won't be sad the entire day. They won't be 2 seconds away from crying the entire day. And that's what depression does. It takes whatever mental state you're at and it drops you. It drops you. And a lot of us, including myself, mask. What that is basically put on a show. We copy the behaviors of other people. And we do this because if you lie to yourself enough times, you start to believe the lie. And people will say that all the time, and it's true. If you tell yourself you're happy enough, and there's nothing nothing else going wrong, you can make yourself believe that you're happy. And you're as happy as you can be. And that's how you get over it. That's how you cope. Because depression for me is all about coping. I can't seem to find the cure to beat this. I've been doing it for years. There's a couple different ways we could go about this from this point on. I'm just kind of rambling, but we can talk about parasocial relationships. That friend that I was talking about, they moved away recently. They were the rock. They were, I consider, when I'm talking about depression, I talk about them as a lighthouse. There's fog everywhere. You don't know where you are. You don't know really how you got here. You don't even know what you should do because you don't trust yourself and your own thoughts. And that's fucked up. It's fucked up that your brain might not have the best interest at heart for you. Because almost nobody else does either. Almost nobody else does. And again, the people who do, you may not choose. And it sucks that you don't choose them. But if they don't understand, they don't understand. And so my lighthouse, this person understood me, and luckily I chose them. And even if everything in my body, in my mind was telling me, fuck this person. Fuck them. I never want to see them again in my life. I hate them. I don't know why they're making me feel like shit. I could take a step back and say, they're not making me feel like shit. I know this person has my best interests at heart. I know I can go to this person. And even if I can't trust myself, I can trust them. And that's what I meant by the lighthouse. They can guide you. They can guide you out of that fog. Even if you can't trust yourself, you can always trust that person to tell you what to do. And that was a huge boon for me. I mean, there were times, there were months that I never had a depression episode. It was amazing. But depression can't be cured. The person moved away. My coping mechanism, it's gone. I can still talk to him, sure, but it's not the same face to face. They asked me how I was today. I didn't answer. I moved the conversation along, made sure that they were okay. You know what I mean? It's something you're embarrassed of. Even people who know, you're still embarrassed. And when things are frustrating, and you just want to be left alone, man, you do the most stupid shit. Before I got on here, I have this dog named Alpha. You guys have seen him. He's a good dog. He's stubborn though. He didn't want to go outside. He was growling at me. I yelled at him. I didn't beat him or nothing, you know. I yelled at him. Get the hell out of here. I am tired of this shit and I don't want to deal with this right now. That's true. Was I really mad at the dog though? No. I was projecting my feelings, my anger towards how I felt and why I felt the way I am and how fucked up I think I am. And I projected it on to him not wanting to go outside. And him not wanting to go outside is my inability to progress or move forward in my life anyway. I have a dream for the first time in my life. The second time in my life. First dream I ever had was to be an Eagle Scout, and I did that. Every job I've ever done, I've hated. I only feel alive when I'm here. I don't think I've ever been depressed on stream. I'm excited when I'm here. I'm so excited. I don't know what my point was. Foggy head, so. But I projected my emotions. That's what a lot of depressed people do. They lash out. Especially when they don't know what's going on with themselves. Or they do know what's going on with themselves and they just can't handle it. You know? Hey cat. Kitty. Kitty, stop doing that to the furniture, please. And so, you can... It's hard to deal with a depressed person because they don't know what's going on with themselves. And depressed people feel like they're being logical. The problem is that their logic for what is right, what is normal, is totally different than what is a normal person's reality. It really feels like you're living in a different reality. Let's talk about the masking thing. So I don't have multiple personality disorder. I don't. But in order to segment my feelings and kind of give myself landmarks for when I am in this mental fog, this mental fucked up state where I don't know what's up and what's down, and I just feel bad, and I feel terrible. I've given myself identities. You could think of it as a color sheet, right? Green, yellow, red. Right? So red's where I'm at now. Red's Romac. It's an anagram of Rockman. Romac is a pissed off asshole who does not like to take on his problems head on. He likes to blame others, be overly aggressive, and not take responsibility for his actions. Something is always someone else's fault. Why is this happening to me? He's the aggressor and the victim in most circumstances. That is because when I am in that mental state, that Romac state, I don't know what's up and what's down. I don't know what's right and what's wrong. And the only reason I can talk about it in this state is because I've gone through this so many times. I've gone through this thousands of times. So I've gotten pretty used to figuring out the roots. Then there's Richard. Richard is a shy, good-hearted, quiet, considerate, respectful person who is focused almost entirely on his goals and trying to find some validity in his life. That's yellow. That's my base setting. That's what I would consider normal. I'm very quiet, very reserved, very kind of to myself when I'm at my base level. I like doing things like grinding on video games or stalking at my job. Just things where I can be myself. And depression's not really bothering me, or maybe it is, but nothing else is going on, so it can't really get in there. You know what I mean? That depression can't find a chink in the armor. So depression's just kind of sitting like a blanket on you, but it's fine. It's not really bothering you. It's waiting for its opportunity to come get you. It is 100%. It's always there. It's like a monster. It's like this monster that just sits on your shoulders, just like a cloak, like an aura, just trying to get in. Right now it's in. I've got a lot of stress and I've got a lot of problems going on in my life. And those have created cracks in my armor. But eventually I'll repair the armor and I'll be able to go back to Richard. However, I have protection. Green level is Rockma. Rockma is a video game character that I have created in several different video games. It started off on World of Warcraft. I still play him to this day. He's a druid. But Rockma is much more than that. Rockma is kind of what I think I would be if I didn't have this mental issue with depression happening. Rockma is charismatic, loud, smart, funny. Anytime I have any sort of social issues with Rockma, I just make a joke out of it. Just everything's a joke, man. Everything's good. Everything's positive. Is it a lie? Of course it's a lie. It's coping. But it's fun. It's happy to be there. You know what I mean? You get a break from yourself. That heavy weight that's on you, that aura that crushes you, you get a break from that. And it's awesome, man. It's so good. And then the best feeling in the world is you feel so alone all the time in a room full of people. You can get hugs and kisses and everything else, man, and it don't mean a fucking thing to you. You're just numb to it, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. It hurts a fucking lot, dude. And happy state. Because you're happy and you're engaging and you're bringing happiness to other people. And for a couple minutes, even months. I mean, I was in the rock state for months. And I almost thought that was really me. I had forgot that it was just something that I was doing. You know, because when you're in that state, you always want it to last forever. You feel good. You feel happy. You wake up every day just rejuvenated, refreshed. You're so excited. God, the excitement, man. The excitement is so cool when you're in that rock state. And the joy you bring to other people makes you feel alive. And once you feel alive, you can feel those hugs. You can feel those kisses. You can feel those people who support you. And you never want it to end. You never want it to end. You're like, this is how I should feel all the time. This is life. This is what everyone else gets to feel. 90% of their life. But you gotta come back. Come back to Richard. That's the real you. That's your default. And Richard's not a bad place to be. It's not. Function normally. You're able to, you don't drink too much. You spend time with family. You chase after your dreams. You pay your bills. You maybe go out and even have some fun sometimes. You have fun in the Richard state. In the normal state. It's just, it's tampered. Because you can never have too much fun. You got that weight. You got that aura on you. The Rockma state is like a complete freedom. A total freedom. From this fog. I want to call it a jail cell, but it's not, because the jail cell has an entrance. It has 4 walls, and you're confined there. You don't feel confined. It's not like that. You feel lost. On the way here, I kept telling myself, I feel like I'm in a void. I was in a room with a bunch of people, and none of them felt real to me. None of them felt real. It was as if you were standing. I was watching a movie. In reality, you're so detached from other people in that fog, and you're just trying to find your way out. That's why you're not. I don't think it's a chain. I don't think it's a jail cell or anything like that. It's almost like you aren't there. And that's the best way I can put it. It feels like you're not there. And that feeling of not being there, not being reality, it makes you an outlier. You're always trying to connect with the other people, right? Because you feel like you're literally outside of reality, and you're just watching your life play out in front of you. And you're trying to interact with people, and you're trying to connect, but it never feels genuine or real. And it always feels off. And it usually leaves kind of a bad impression with the other person. You're trying to connect with those other people. But it's not real. And I think that this leads to kind of a dangerous thing for depression people, or for people suffering from depression. And it's often why the depressed person has to choose you. If you're watching this at a later date or whatever, and this is something where you want to be there, you want to be that person for the other person who is depressed, depressed people are in a vulnerable state, and they know it, because they're crying all the time. But they also feel detached. They feel a longing to be with you. They want that happiness, and more than anything, they want to feel connected. That connection is what brought me into that rockma state for so long. But the depressed person knows that they are vulnerable. They are super vulnerable. And so they have to be able to trust that person 110% when they can't even trust themselves. That's so hard for the depressed person to give up that kind of control. Just make sure I'm not going too late. Shoot, I gotta go. But anyways, the whole point of this is that vulnerability is why a depressed person usually won't come to you. And it's almost always why depressed people seek out validation above everything else. Even now, I've been watching my viewer count. Why? Because I wanted that validation. I wanted to know that somebody gave a fuck and somebody wanted to come see me talk about this shit. And reality is, does anybody care? No, they don't. But maybe somebody will see this. Maybe it'll help. Maybe somebody will be like, hey, that's me. Maybe it won't help, but maybe you'll find some sort of connection with it. I don't know. I'm probably gonna post this up on YouTube. I'll see you guys later.